A shocking revelation from the Blacklist Season 10 has been hinted, and it will shake the series' very foundations. The NBC crime drama is now in its 10th and final season. It began in 2013 and has since broadcast 200 episodes. The show centers on Raymond Reddington, a former FBI agent who is currently on the most wanted list and who accepts the offer to assist FBI profiler Liz Keane in finding criminals on his blacklist, which includes a variety of terrorists, mob lords, and other bad guys. Wu Jing, a member of the Season 1 Blacklist, makes a risky step by telling Robert Vesco, Red's former mentor, the truth about Red's actions. Vesco, a con artist who initially showed up in Season 6, recently returned to the series to go on some dangerous adventures with Red but may be getting ready to turn on him. Seasons 9 and 10 thus far have centered on Red redoubling his blacklist efforts while overseeing the formation of a criminal empire. During the course of these episodes, a number of former blacklisters have reappeared with the intention of exacting revenge. The new scene from Season 10 appears to be launching an arc that will end with the series finale. The downfall or the supposed downfall of the almost unbeatable Raymond Reddington has been a long time coming. The saying "you live by the sword, you die by the sword" has never been more applicable. Raymond still claimed he had handled the Wu Jing side of issues, but it didn't seem like it. He might have had a plan, but it didn't seem big. Wu Jing's plans became clear when he made his first move by revealing everything about Raymond to Robert. But that's not to say it was exactly a secret what his plan was. It was a plan Marvin had set in motion even before his demise. It might seem that Wu Jing has to do much to prove Raymond's guilt, but he doesn't. Like a defendant to a jury, he only has to instill some doubt in one juror. Raymond would have to convince the whole bench. Wu Jing has all the facts, and it wouldn't be hard to find evidence to back it up. So far, he has a theory and some circumstantial evidence, but needs hard proof. Raymond seems to be concocting a kind of plan. It started with breaking Robert out of prison and putting a tracking device on the 4 guns. It would appear as if he was planning on going on the offensive. Is everything at this point with Vesco and Reddington what it seems? At this point, it feels rather easy to say that there is a secret twist that is going to be revealed at just about any moment. Are Reddington and Robert working together to trick Wu Jing? Honestly, that is the thing that makes the most sense at the moment. If Reddington really did admit to everything when it comes to the FBI task force, Robert may have appreciated the discretion, or, at the very least, he may have understood why he allowed Demby to arrest him. We tend to think that at this point, Reddington and Vesco have decided that he continue forward as some sort of double agent, and in doing so, there's an opportunity to get some real information on the inside. It's a smart plan. However, it is also an incredibly risky plan. But what if Wu Jing intentionally feeds him wrong information, thinking that he is serving as a double agent? There's also a chance at that. Raymond Reddington appears like a terrific boss if you can look past the ongoing risk of being arrested, subjected to torture, or even killed. He is both kind and dependable. This week, the task force investigates the case of a murdered judge. The episode opens with a flashback of several incidents that took place 3 weeks prior. Judge Alice Dockery went through some files and was increasingly getting paranoid. She called Detective Patrick Fleming and told him that they have to speak urgently. After this, Patrick arrived at Alice's house and found her dead. As he checked her laptop, he comes across the name Bruno written on it. It seemed like an open and shut case against Paul Bruno Jr., the mafioso who had been intimidating the judge after she threw the book at his mob boss father. Junior's defense team, on the other hand, would like very much to make it a closed and open case and hire Herbie to consult. In turn, Herbie asks Red to consult. And he, of course, consults with the FBI. Ressler complains about doing Red's bidding, but Cooper is happy to take on the case. You'd think Ressler would eventually realize that doing Reddington's bidding is his literal job. The episode shifted perspectives to the present, where Red met Herbie and informed him that Holly had put clean sheets on the bed for him. Herbie wanted help from Red regarding Alice Dockery's murder. Alice was presiding over the case of infamous mob boss Paulo Bruno while he was now seen in prison, and his son Paul Jr. was arrested on suspicion of Alice's murder. Herbie's help was needed with forensics, and everyone wanted to get rid of the Bruno family. Red called Cooper and told him he was in town, further mentioning the Dockery murder. Both Red and Herbie believed that Paul Jr. did not do it, while Cooper asked the task force to begin their research. Ressler and Sia interviewed Detective Patrick Fleming, who told them how Alice was behaving the day she was murdered and asked the team to go through the case files. The task force interview a list of people who could have a big enough grudge against the judge to murder. There's the ex-con with a Vegas wedding alibi, the acquitted man who holds no grudges against the judge, who gave him a fair trial to demonstrate his innocence in public, the wife of a disgraced insider trader who spent the night of the murder sobbing at a gala, and a former dentist who is grateful the judge stopped his addictive spree of unnecessary dental procedures. It all adds up to a big old pile of no leads until Herbie figures out that Dockery was definitely murdered. The injury from the stabbing would have immediately severed her spinal cord, making her incapable of typing anything, let alone Bruno. Meanwhile, Herbie called Sia and told her that there was something she had to see. The former revealed that Alice could not have typed Bruno since her spinal cord was severed. Someone intentionally put that name to frame the junior. Herbie then met Paul Bruno Sr. in prison and learned that the judge had a secretive lover. This kicks the investigation into a higher gear. Bruno claims the judge had a lover, but a search of her home doesn't reveal evidence of a love affair. It does, however, lead to finding a death threat from the parent of a slain young woman, Emma Moody. Anton Johnston, the acquitted man they interviewed earlier, had been accused of her murder. The Moody parents easily admit they wrote the threat because they blame Dockery for exonerating Johnston. They're understandably distraught. Her father rails against the injustice system, and her mother still wears a necklace with her daughter's name. An inside joke from the time they couldn't find both their names at a street fair, so they purchased 2M necklaces instead. Ressler notices an orchid in a frame and realizes it's identical to a bouquet of orchids that was in the judge's office. Back at headquarters, the team calls Herbie, who is warming up for a foosball tournament. Herbie is curious that both Emma and the judge's orchids have an unusual shimmer. Ressler and Malik head off to interview Johnston again at his home. They get there shortly after he drugged a woman upstairs. Malik gets suspicious when he refers to the judge as Allie instead of Alice or Judge Dockery. As Ressler roams the grounds of the house, Malik gets Johnston to admit he was the judge's lover. Then a moan from the woman upstairs confirms Johnston is definitely the bad guy. Ressler takes a call from Herbie, who has finished analyzing the orchids. The shimmer is from high concentrations of nitrogen. Ressler is not interested in expanding his horticultural knowledge until Herbie insists the only way the flowers could grow with that much nitrogen is if they were planted directly on top of decomposing bodies. Johnston claims he was in love with Dockery and only killed her when she found his secret, the Emma necklace that matched the one her mother still wears. He admits to murdering the 3 women they found under the orchids, one of which is his mother. He killed her because he felt ignored by her, then kept up his killing with other young women, including Emma Moody. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.